Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Inning, brought to you by Afterthought Sports. As always, I'm Jack Haskell, joined this week by none other than Mr. James Derrick.
I am not Gavin Watson. Usually, Gavin Watson is right here, but no, it's me with Jack Haskell. He's sick.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was Gavin's turn this week to be sick. I'm still
Well,
at about 95% as opposed to last week, but
it's actually his turn this week and part of last week.
yeah, that is
And
true.
he's actually been really going through it. Prayers for Gavin. Okay. But Jack, you want to just get us started here?
Yeah, so we'll start out with some Yankees pinstripe pulse, as the Yankees have been successful through this week.
I would say so.
They took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox at Fenway Park, which is always nice,
Big.
and then took 2 of 3 from the Twins. But gotta say, James, the bullpen is still very questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna feel good about it ever this season. You know, I think Bednar is kind of one of those guys that I think can go into a game where I'm relaxed and I can watch the ninth inning and know he's probably gonna be fine. He gives up a homer here or there. I think really anyone does. It's the MLB. But besides him, I don't know. There's really no one that I'm like, put him in the game now. He's going to get us out of this. I mean, even Weaver, it's kind of been his job, but I don't know. What do you think?
It's funny you mentioned Weaver because he has not looked very good as of late, and we know how crucial he was last
Hmm.
year, in last year's postseason, and he was just a dog. I mean, he was coming out getting 5 or 6 outs, sometimes even 6 or 7 outs, but he's not looking great, and I have a feeling that David Bednar is going to play a very similar role that Luke Weaver played last postseason. And like you mentioned, besides David Bednar, it's not looking great. I mean, Camilo Doval, he wasn't great to start out. He's starting to find it a little bit thanks to Matt Blake, but I'm still not super confident about Doval. Devin Williams, you flip a coin, to be completely honest at this point.
Yes, it is. It is a coin flip with him. Weaver, I think, will still be the come into an inning kind of guy. We're in the playoffs, like seventh inning, there's 2 outs, and you need someone to get the last out of the inning and then get the eighth. I think Weaver is still the guy just because that's been his role this season. He's been inconsistent. Whereas last year, you knew when he came in the game, they were cooked. But would love to see him be a little bit more consistent. But again, like you said, Doval, I mean, wasn't expecting to see him throw 101. That's the stuff where you're like, oh, he's been working with Matt in the bullpen,
Meet Matt Blake.
But still searching for some consistency from really all those guys.
And you talk about the bullpen, but even the starting rotation has some question marks around it because you have Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, who are the top 2 solidified starters for this team.
Those are the for sure 1 and 2.
But then you look at that third guy, and you're really unsure who that is because you have Will Warren, who has not been super fan. I know I gave him a lot of props last week, but then his last start, just a complete collapse in the first inning. And
Mm-hmm.
in his defense, he bulldogged it out and through the next 4 innings, no problem.
You do really like to see that out of anyone,
But in the
especially getting blown up in the first
postseason,
inning.
you
No.
cannot allow a first inning collapse like that.
Yeah, and with Warren, I mean, for me, the first time I saw him and I saw that sweeper, like I knew he had the stuff, that sweeper sinker combination.
Oh, absolutely.
It's what every guy in the league wants to have.
And I give him so much credit and props too, because realistically, he wasn't supposed to be throwing in the majors this season. He was called upon when Garrett Cole had to get Tommy John surgery.
And he answered. I think they do kind of have to reward him for that. However, I don't think his stuff that, you need raw stuff in the postseason. I don't think it matches up to guys like Heel or Schlittler. I think either of them beat him out for that game 3 start. Between Schlittler and Heel, who do you think gives us a better game 3 start right now? Because they kind of both have their things that they have going for them.
I talked a lot about this with Gavin last week. And since then, neither man was able to make it out of the fifth inning in their most
Yeah,
recent start
yeah.
after last week's episode. And that causes a lot of question marks. Because you look at Heel, he's a veteran. He's been up in the bigs for a few seasons now.
Mhm.
He knows what it's like to pitch in the postseason, but he cannot find the zone, and that hurts him so much.
Sometimes, right? I mean, won Rookie of the Year last year, and of course, he had been up to the majors like numerous times even before then. So, like you said, veteran. I think that's kind of what he's got going for him when you talk about getting that third starting spot. Schlittler, I think, has pitched better overall. He's also is capable of throwing 100, but I think Heel has that. Heel's played in the postseason before, whereas Schlittler, I mean, I don't even know if he qualifies for a rookie season this year. I don't think he does. So,
Which, if he doesn't, I would like that a lot, because then you can build upon him next season
yes,
and
yes.
maybe get a Rookie of the Year
I
out of
mean,
him. You never know.
it's always intentional. I mean, they know what they're doing. I mean, service time manipulation is a thing. So, um, I think Heel's going to end up with the third spot, Schlittler four, and then maybe Warren if someone gets blown up in the first inning. But that's what I got.
My thing with Schlittler, very high on him. He is so fun to
How
watch
could you
throw the
not be?
baseball. He has been such a welcome surprise for this Yankees team. He was called upon similarly to how Warren was called upon with all the injuries to the Yankees'
Mhm.
primary rotation, and he has delivered in a massive way. With that said, I don't think he's proved enough yet that he can pitch against a high-level baseball team.
That's kind of the thing, right? And you would like to see him prove that, but I don't think he will prove that before the postseason.
I don't
He's
think he
just
has enough time
he's
to.
just
I
going to
don't think he
have to
can.
hop right in and as one of our professors says, death by or baptism by fire. If you never worked a camera before, well, you'll find out.
So I think we're both in agreement. Game 1, Fried. Game 2, Rodon. Game 3, give it to Heel.
Mhm.
You have Warren, even Ryan Yarborough, out of the bullpen in case he starts to collapse early on. And then Game 4, if need be, I think you give it to Schlittler over
Yeah.
Warren.
Schlittler, and then still Warren Yarbrough, depending on what happens Game 3 or stuff like that. But I think a lot of Yankees fans would agree with that for sure.
So we've talked about the postseason rotation. What do you want the postseason lineup to look like in a sense of what guy do you want playing at each position? Because I know what I want.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have, I think you have to think about first Wells and Rice and how they're gonna deal with catching. I think Wells is gonna have to catch more than Rice unless someone's hot.
Because
right?
that also affects if and where I shouldn't even say where because you can only play one position, but if you play Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, and I know they want Paul Goldschmidt to play some first, but I think he might only get platoon advantage spots where he's against a lefty.
I, for the life of me, cannot see Paul Goldschmidt take a postseason at bat against a right-handed pitcher.
Well, and it's not even that. I honestly do have faith in Paul Goldschmidt in the postseason, just in general. I mean, he's 37, 38 years old. He's played in huge games.
Oh, 100%.
So he knows how to get it done in the postseason, probably more than a lot of guys that would be in the lineup. But I just think he doesn't play well against righties. He rakes lefties, but it's going to be tough because you want Ben Rice's bat in there. Paul Goldschmidt plays a better first. You want Rice's bat in there, but Wells plays a better catcher.
And I don't think you can afford to have Rice behind the dish in the postseason.
Yeah, and I'm even just thinking of some hypotheticals. I know, you think about putting Goldschmidt out in the field late in the game,
Like
then,
they have been doing, to be fair.
Yeah. So I think that's something that they're definitely going to think about doing is if we're up by any more than, 1 or 2 runs, 7th inning or later, get Goldschmidt out there as quick as possible. But I don't know. What are you thinking in terms of even like the outfield because you don't want Stanton to be out there. You need Bellinger to play. You need Grisham to play, and you need Judge to play. Dominguez is kind of the odd man out in this situation. So, I mean, what do you make of that? And how are we going to use Dominguez this postseason even?
Yeah, so I think Judge has looked better each game in the outfield. He's looking more comfortable. He's making longer throws more comfortably. So I think you can have Judge in right field. But that brings a very big responsibility for the infield to be able to hit the cutoff guy and get it to home plate if need be.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to have to look like Judge, Grisham, Bellinger, or some rendition of that if you want our best guys hitting and fielding. But I think Dominguez is going to be kind of relegated to a pinch runner kind of role, or because they would never take Judge out for
No,
Dominguez as like
no.
a defensive replacement. I don't think that. I mean, that doesn't improve anything.
You can't substitute Aaron Judge out of the game. I don't even think you can pinch run Aaron Judge, to be completely honest.
No, not even because
It's Aaron Judge. It's a once in a generation talent. You can't take him out of the game.
They would never even think about that. But I think Dominguez is going to be relegated to pinch running if we need a stolen base in like the 8th or 9th inning, but otherwise he's going to be the odd man out because Grisham's had a 30-homer season. Bellinger's on his way. Judge is the MVP. Stanton's got a DH.
Dominguez was running great in the Twin Series, and he was doing it like with a tooth infection. He started a game in Minnesota with a tooth infection. And I think he swiped like 2 bags that game too. He was really good that series. But yeah, as you mentioned, I think from left to right, outfield's got to look like Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge. And I just want to talk about the big sleep for a minute. I told you, told Nathan, I told anyone who would listen last season that Trent Grisham would get there. Trent Grisham would get there, and what did he do this season? He got to 30 home runs.
Yeah, blew his player prop of 8 homers way out of the water. I mean, he's one of those guys. I think at one point he was a highly touted prospect for, I want to say like the Padres, or maybe he was traded to the Padres in some kind of trade. I forgot. But I remember like playing some old MLB The Show like back in the day, and I used to love Trent Grisham because he's got a sexy swing. I mean, what can you say? But I never imagined he would be this player, and I will give you your flowers. You, as much as me and Nathan were just like, no, we don't even know what you're talking about.
No one believed
he didn't hit he barely hit above 200, last year, and he hit some homers, but he was far from an impactful player. And now, give him a 4-year contract for like 15, 20 million a year.
It's funny you mention his swing, because the thing that's always stood out to me about his swing, he doesn't swing all the way through. Like he'll swing and then he'll like hold up and just watch it, and it's so 4 letters, 1 word. Watching Trent Grisham play baseball is so much fun.
Yeah, well, he's got a short swing. Not a lot of Yankees do, and it lets him get to a lot of pitches that home run hitters don't usually get to, and it kind of has turned him into a home run hitter. So
I could talk about Trent Grisham all episode if
Continue
you
with
allowed me,
else,
but we've got to dive into the infield now, and I think third base is mostly figured out. I mean, Ryan McMahon, he hasn't been a great bat, but his defense has been elite.
Still looking for the power to spike up, because he's got it. He had some years in Colorado where he
had 16 home runs with Colorado this season.
Yeah, and haven't seen it as much in New York, but I think he's just kind of been slumping since he came over, and that happens. But tremendous defense.
Now with that, there's a guy kind of buried into the Yankees bench, and he's the opposite of McMahon. He's got a good bat, not so great defensively. James, what do you think Ahmed Rosario is slashing this season with the Yankees exclusively?
With just the Yankees?
Just the Yankees.
Well, I don't know, but if I had to guess, something near like, I don't know. He has played pretty much only left-handed pitchers. Oh, this might be insane. He might be slashing something crazy. I'll guess like something mid here. 275, like 300 on base, like 400 slugging, and that's kind of generous. What is it?
James, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Ahmed Rosario, in 13 games with the Yankees, is hitting 400,
Well, 13 games. Come
a
on.
400 OBP, 640 slugging
So he's
percentage,
got a one dot.
and a 1.04 OPS.
Hey, man, that's what the platoon advantage gives you. Okay. I mean, you take a guy like Ahmed Rosario, who isn't necessarily wonderful in the field, and you throw him against only left-handed pitching. Well, he rakes left-handed pitching, and I think that's going to be big for the playoffs. I mean, you could probably see him get some spot starts, maybe some pinch hitting opportunities. But I think a lot of those opportunities might come from shortstop, if that makes some sense, as opposed to third base, even because I don't know what the hell we're going to do with Anthony Volpe because they give the news about the whole labrum issue, and then he's going to sit down for a couple games, but then he's playing against the Twins, and he plays well against the Twins. I love Caballero. I would almost say I've been advocating for Caballero over Volpe all season. However, one thing I can say for certain is both of those guys really can't hit the ball very well. Whereas if you do have a lefty, I feel like Ahmed Rosario gets some opportunities, and then maybe you bring some like either Volpe or Caballero back in for fielding opportunities. But I don't know. What do you think even happens with shortstop? Is it all Caballero?
I talked about this a little with Gavin last week. Though he could be extremely valuable off the bench in a pinch running situation for, say, a Ben Rice or an Austin Wells or a Giancarlo Stanton, I think Jose Caballero is my postseason shortstop. And you mentioned he hasn't
He
hit the
is.
ball great. With New York, he's hitting 265. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Honestly, he hit a bomb in Boston too. Like he pimped one. So I just don't know what I'm talking about.
His
Jose Caballero
defense
to the moon.
has been so valuable. His base running, watching Jose Caballero steal bases, they're gonna write a documentary about him someday.
A Jose Caballero documentary. If we win the World Series, maybe.
I think Jose Caballero is my shortstop over Anthony Volpe. And that's not to say that you can't put Anthony Volpe in for defense, maybe, even though I don't think you put the MLB leader in errors in for defense late game. But there, I'll put it this way: there is a spot for Anthony Volpe on the Yankees postseason roster, but I don't think it's in the starting lineup.
I kind of hope it's the same. Yeah, that's I don't even have any kind of point to bring up to because I just agree.
And we're talking about Aaron Boone, so Aaron Boone might not even know who's starting at shortstop right now.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure Aaron Boone has to fight with the analytics team all the time, regardless, because they bring him a lineup every day too. So, which is kind of weird, but I figure in the postseason you can just let Aaron Boone manage the lineup however. But I understand analytics big part of the game this day.
So we've talked about our Yankees postseason lineup. We're not gonna go batting order because Boone doesn't even know what the batting order is. He just gets a piece of paper sent from the guys upstairs in the analytics department. But I want to hear who you think gets left off the Yankees postseason lineup because the Yankees are at 28 players right now, as are all MLB teams with September call ups.
Yeah.
But then they shrink down to 26 for playoff time.
I think it's easily, look at the active roster and say you got to take off two guys. It's easy. It's Austin Slater because we already have right-handed platoon advantage against lefties. We got Goldschmidt, we've got Rosario. And then, maybe the bullpen, I think Blackburn. I know Brent Hedrick was on the team at some point, but now he's down in AAA on some rehab assignment for kind of a while. A little confusing what's going on there too. So I think it's going to be Blackburn and Slater.
I want to talk about Paul Blackburn for a minute. I don't
Sure.
expect him to make it onto the postseason roster, but for a guy that was kind of supposed to be an innings eater for one game and then thank you for your service,
Yeah.
elected to free agency, he stayed on the roster for some reason. I mean, I guess, yes, to eat innings, but his Yankees debut, he threw 3 1/3 innings, gave up 7 earned runs to the Red Sox. So immediately, because it was the Red Sox, they're like, they want his head on a platter.
Yeah.
But since then, James, in the month of September, Paul Blackburn has thrown 7 innings, only given up 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, walked 2 batters, and 10 strikeouts.
More than a strikeout per inning is not something you would expect from Paul Blackburn.
For a guy that was supposed to be DFA'd after his first outing,
you do have to give him credit because since then, when he's been called upon, he's, I guess, just taken care of everybody. But besides 1 run, he did have the one.
he did have the 1 run.
But I think good on you for giving him some credit because I wouldn't have even thought about it, to be completely honest.
Paul Blackburn, you have not gone unnoticed. I see you and I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. A guy that I don't appreciate, however, is Austin Slater. He's taking up a roster spot. He is hitting 111 in 11 games played.
Yeah, I was watching that Red Sox game, Yankees Red Sox game, and I see Austin Slater's leading off against Garrett Crochet, and I just say to myself, "What the hell?"
That was that like that. I looked at that lineup because I have the Yankees Twitter notifications turned on,
Yeah.
so I get the lineup sent as soon as it gets sent out,
Mhm.
and I saw Austin Slater leading off, and I was like, "Is this a typo?" Because they've had a couple typos this season that they've had to delete and then resend out, and I was like, "Who is batting first?"
We're gonna watch Garrett Crochet shove Austin Slater 1, 2, 3, and like that's what I was thinking to myself. I'm gonna watch Austin Slater strike out however long Garrett Crochet's in this game. And he did. He struck out against Garrett Crochet.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't mean to just keep crapping on the guy, but he's really only on the team for the games that Judge is DHing and Stanton's out of the lineup and Dominguez is in left field, and they don't want Dominguez in left field for the last 2 innings. He's solely there as a defensive replacement for Jason Dominguez at this point.
And some, lefty platoon advantage. Garrett Crochet might win Cy Young. He won't, but
he won't, unfortunately. But
so, you struck out 3 times or twice. That's okay. I'm not expecting more from you necessarily, but just wasn't expecting to see him lead off.
But then even for Garrett Crochet, and this is just the Yankees fan coming out in me, you struck out Austin Slater 3 times. Whoop-de-doo.
He's leading off, man. Leadoff hitter. That is going to be a trivia question. It's going to be who led off for the Yankees? And then you're going to be like, oh, I got this guy, this guy, this guy. And then you're going to go, who the hell only led off 1 game? And you're going to name the entire roster. And then you're going to go, oh my God, it was Austin Slater.
And then, who else you'll think about after that? Pablo Reyes.
Did he also lead off?
I don't know if he led off, but that's just another one of those
I was going to
Yankees
say, he did not.
You're just like, they were on the team, and then you're like, oh yeah, he was on the team, and he sucked. Shout out to Pablo Reyes, though. Back in our hometown of Syracuse, New York. He's played quite nicely for the Syracuse Mets.
Oh yeah, I hope he does well.
You don't mean that.
Continue the show.
We have to move on. A little bit of somber news. Clayton Kershaw retired he didn't retire yet, but he announced this week that he will retire after the season is over, and his final home start of the regular season comes today, the day of filming, Friday, September 19th.
Oh, you know what, man? I have a dentist appointment today. I didn't call to cancel. I'm not at home. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it. We'll reschedule that at a different time. Sorry, not to get off track, but yeah, I had a dentist appointment Friday, September 19th. Anyways, yeah, Clayton Kershaw.
I'm gonna clip this and send it over to your dentist.
Thank you.
What a career for Clayton
I know,
Kershaw,
a phenomenal career. You knew it was kind of coming at some point. You just did was he going to take the route where he gets, he announces it before the season and gets kind of the whole, presence from everybody in the league and this and that? Or is he going to not say anything and then just announce the retirement?
He specifically said, though, he was like, I don't want any fanfare.
Yep.
Like, the media was talking to him, and he was like, I told the guys, like, don't make it weird, or else I'm going to make it weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to play baseball. We're trying to make a postseason push. That's what it is. But what a career Clayton Kershaw's
seriously.
had.
One of the all-time
MVP
greats.
winner, Triple Crown. Of course, won the 2020 World Series with the Dodgers. 5-time ERA title. Roberto Clemente Award winner. 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 11-time All-Star, and a Gold Glove.
I mean, one of the best to ever do it. Can't say much else about Clayton Kershaw. I bet he wishes he had a better postseason resume. But, I mean, shit, still won a World Series, so can't really knock him for too much.
And he's been productive this season, too. A 10-2 win-loss record, a 1.2 WAR, and a 3.53 ERA, which, for old man Kershaw, it's not horrible.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not even trying to make fun of him. He's old, bro. How old is Clayton Kershaw?
He's got to be like high 30s.
No, dude, I want to say 40s.
No, he's not in his 40s, is he?
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's only 37. That's crazy. But for a pitcher, I mean, who pitches till they're 37 these days?
Yeah.
Especially with injuries being as rampant as they are in modern baseball, pitching till you're 37 is quite an accomplishment.
But
especially to do it as well as he has.
Credit to where credit is due. Unk still got it.
Unk still has it.
And unfortunately, Unk doesn't even get to throw his final regular season game in Dodger Stadium with his favorite catcher. Austin Barnes was DFA'd earlier in the season, and he's been...
Damn it, why didn't they think about that?
Barnes has been Kershaw's preferred catcher through his entire year. He has a 53-27 record with an ERA of 2.67 with 734 strikeouts and 112 appearances with Austin Barnes as his catcher.
Sorry, I was rather distracted. What'd you say?
We're gonna move on. Dalton Rushing will be the catcher that is catching for Kershaw tonight.
Okay.
He's making his first appearance in a while, coming off the IL, and the guy that's been kind of filling his spot while both Rushing and Will Smith have been out, Ben Rortvedt, who
we know Ben Rortvedt.
He's been
aware.
Sneakily good for the Dodgers. Taking a look at his stats, he started the season in Tampa Bay. 26 games played, hitting .095 at the plate, which that's
abysmal.
That's gross. He gets DFA'd by the Rays, signs a minor league deal with the Dodgers, gets called up with both Dalton Rushing and Will Smith being injured, which how just purely unlucky is that both of your catchers go down at the same time.
Yeah.
But in 13 games with the Dodgers, he's hitting .294, 368 OBP, 353 slugging percentage with a 721 OPS and a .1 WAR. And he's caught consecutive games a couple times in his stint with the Dodgers. And the Dodgers management is very high on Rortvedt. He's only 27. So if the Dodgers are like, hey, wait, we kind of want to keep him, he's 27 years old.
Yeah, and he's a left-handed catcher. I mean, it's kind of rare. I mean, we're Yankees fans, so we're used to just having an excess of left-handed catchers. I mean, come on, we had Rortvedt even prior to this. So, I mean, no, but a left-handed catcher is just not a thing you usually see in baseball. And he's a pretty above-average framer as well. I think we saw that when he was with Tampa Bay. I think they usually get their catchers to be above average always at framing. So, maybe make some sneaky starts here or there. But, man, they should have signed Austin Barnes to a one-day contract.
Thank you.
Just one day. Here's $20. Can you go catch Kershaw today, dude?
Hot dog and a handshake.
We'll give you as many beers as you want after the game, okay? Just go catch
Kershaw is going to be slamming them after his final start at Dodger Stadium.
I know they're in the middle of a playoff push. I mean, kind of, but
You got to throw a party for Unk.
yeah, I mean, break the tension a little bit. Throw a
Yeah.
party for Unk. I agree.
But nonetheless, some more Dodgers news. The other day, Blake Snell, he was getting pulled from his start. Dave Roberts went out to the mound, and Snell just kind of looked at him and was like, "No, I'm not done. There's one more out to get into this inning." And
There's not 3 outs.
he convinced Dave Roberts to stay in the game, which it happens sometimes. We see it a lot with Carlos Rodon. He'll argue with Boone
Yeah.
to stay into the
He
game.
loves to.
But the funny thing about this was Alex Vesia was midway on the field when this was all happening, so he got sent back into the bullpen.
He convinced Dave Roberts that he should stay on the field, but he didn't convince Alex Vesia to stay in the bullpen because he didn't get the message. I mean, to be fair, they see Dave Roberts walking out. They're like, all right, go get him, Alex.
And all worked out in the end. Snell got the final out of the inning for his 12th strikeout of the game, and Alex Vesia would come into the game in the next inning. But it's just things that make you go,
It's a only baseball thing. I mean, that rarely happens. The guy starts running out, but then he has to go back into the bullpen. You have to shout it out every time it does because it's such a uniquely baseball thing to happen. It's a rare event. Got to give it a shout out when it happens.
Yeah, now speaking of shout outs, I got to give a quick shout out to Trey Yes Savage in the Blue Jays organization.
Phenomenal last name.
Number one prospect in their farm system. He started the season in low A.
Yeah. And he's made his way all the way up.
On September 15th, he threw 5 innings, 9 strikeouts in his first major league start of his career. He set the Blue Jays franchise record for most strikeouts in a major league debut, breaking Trent Thornton's record of 8 in 2019. And he'll make a second start on Sunday.
Yeah, really interested to see what we can get in a second start from him. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. I mean, he's just got great stuff, right? I mean, you can make major league players swing and miss. You've got a good base to build on for the rest of your career. And considering he blew up all the way from low A, you have to imagine the Blue Jays think, this is our guy. This is somebody we're going to hold on to, develop him. He's going to be hoeing the slab as our ace in the coming years. And it comes at a time where they're sitting on top of the entire American League. So only good things happening for the Blue Jays right now in a season where, I mean, who has the Blue Jays beating out the Yankees for the American League East? And now they most likely will. Crazy season for them, and it just continues to get better.
The Blue Jays got to give credit where credit is due. As a Yankees fan, you hope Yes Savage blows up in the second inning, but nonetheless, whether that happens or not, the Blue Jays stand firmly in the lead of the American League
East, yeah,
but the American League East, excuse me.
But well, atop the American League as well. Sorry, I was just thinking because yesterday the Yankees made up a game on the Blue Jays, but we're not going to catch them. I mean, they're like 3 games up. They definitely own the tiebreakers because they beat the crap out of us. So we'd have to make up 4 games in like a week and a half. That's not going to happen. So, congratulations, Blue Jays.
Congratulations, Blue Jays. But nonetheless, the Yankees are making that final push. But another American League team is going to get some help in their late season push as Houston Astros third baseman Isaac Paredes is expected to be activated from the 60-day IL today, the day of recording, coming off a hamstring injury. Has not played since July 19th. Just a really gnarly injury, and it shifted the Astros' entire season in a way. I mean, they had to go and trade for Carlos Correa to come back to Houston to play third base for the first time ever in his career. So now with Isaac Paredes back, that gives Correa a little leniency to maybe play shortstop, put him maybe at second base.
Yeah, I think there's going to have to be some kind of versatility there. Maybe they have Correa, wear multiple hats, which you didn't assume was going to happen, but now he's playing third base, so you don't know what's going to happen at all. he was having a great season. I mean, the power was there. Those Crawford boxes were talking to Isaac Paredes on a regular basis. 19 homers before he hit the 60-day IL. Someone else who was on the 60-day IL who's sitting around the same number of homers as Giancarlo Stanton. So you have to imagine they're both probably going to miss a similar amount of time and end up with similar end of season
Quite
numbers.
honestly, I think John Carlos Stanton came back as Isaac Paredes, like around the same
Yeah.
time that he got hurt.
Yeah. So, different times. But just wanted to shout this out real quick. In my season preview for the Minnesota Twins that we had to write in the Lee's class, I predicted that they would be sellers at the trade deadline. And look what they did.
Sellers they were.
Just saying.
Hey, they got James Outman, though, who's hitting
Wonderful.
Who was hitting 101 at the time that they traded for him.
Hey, they gotta buy low. It's all about the value. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
With the season rapidly coming to an end, teams are already starting to clinch playoff berths.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees stand 3.5 games ahead of the wild card series. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to win the American League or the American League East.
Yeah.
Just what are your honest opinions looking at the standings around the league?
My honest opinions looking at the standings around the league is that we're going to have to play either the Astros or the Red Sox at home in a 3-game wild card set. And I'm going to hate it. And I'm going to hate it so much because regardless, I mean, I know we have Max Fried, but especially if you play the Red Sox, one of those games you're just going to automatically drop because Garrett Crochet is going to drop you-know-what on us. So, and Brian Bayo, we struggle to beat as well. So I'd rather not play the Red Sox.
Not to mention, Rob Refsnyder turns into Barry Bonds against left-handed pitchers,
who are going to be the first 2 starters of that series. So I'm really concerned if we end up playing drawing the Red Sox in the wild card. I feel, and this is strange to say, I feel a little bit better about the Astros, even though, I mean, come on, they're also a great team. But yeah, we're not going to catch the Blue Jays. I'm just hoping we don't play the Red Sox because I can already hear, what was it, like 2018 where we lost in the wild card to the Red Sox? Garrett Cole gives up a dinger to Devers. Or was that like 2020 something?
Hey,
I don't even remember.
To be fair, no Rafael Devers in sight.
Yeah, I know, right? No Rafael Devers, but the Red Sox have put together a fantastic team this season unexpectedly. So, good for them. But otherwise, I hope you suck for the rest of the season and miss the playoffs.
I like that we're in position to host a wild card series.
Yeah, I mean,
but the Red Sox have had our number this season.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros, you can argue that they've had our number, but I think we've just had this slight advantage. But I don't know how comfortable I feel against either of these teams.
Yeah, I certainly don't feel good. It sucks that we're going to have to be in the wild card, but I think that's just the hand we've been dealt at this point. I mean, we lost so many games to the Blue Jays in series, earlier on in the season. If we just win 2 more games against the Blue Jays, this is anyone's race. But we didn't. We didn't take care of business. We had a slump right in the middle of the season that was real bad, and now we just got to deal with what we're dealt.
And we dropped a game to the Red Sox 2 series ago.
Yes, we did. However, understandably so, Crochet on the mound. That's always going to happen. So, unfortunately,
and that was the Will Warren game as well.
Yeah, I mean, good thing they both happened at once. Just get them both out of the way. But I'm concerned. However, we'll get playoff Stanton there. We'll be good.
We do, and with Stanton too. He's kind of scaled it back a little bit in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but that's okay because he was so hot coming off the IL, and he was so crucial when Judge was out. But now that Judge is back, he's able to take kind of a little bit of a step back, and he can slump right now. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
October John Carlos Stanton is on the horizon.
And
And
once he's locked in,
if you have never seen Giancarlo Stanton play baseball in the month of October, you haven't lived life yet.
I think there was maybe one postseason where he wasn't absolutely amazing, and I think that was his first season with us.
I
Where
mean,
he just kinda
this guy
okay.
was stealing bases last October.
That doesn't even make sense.
He
That actually does not make sense.
his sprint is a brisk jog.
I could beat Giancarlo Stanton in a sprint, and I can't say that about any professional
My
athletes.
grandmother could beat Giancarlo Stanton in a sprint.
I mean, hey, you don't have to sprint around the bases when you hit it out of the damn park. So
That is true.
That's what I'm banking on.
That is true. Well, a lot to behold in the last few weeks of the MLB regular season. Gotta hope for a huge Yankees push.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
we're hoping and praying for. But nonetheless, that's all we have for this week. We'll see you next week with some more playoff talk. And hopefully the Yankees bullpen can hold it down between now and then.
Hopefully we can talk about how fantastic the Yankees bullpen is. We'll say, oh, they're great. They're so great.
That would be
I don't
that
think
would
it's gonna
be
happen, though.
all of my Christmas wishes come true. But until then, for James Derrick, I'm Jack Haskell. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Inside the Inning, brought to you as always by Afterthought Sports. We'll see you next week.
Peace.